buddies. Today I'm going to show you why I don't do acrylic. The smell of regular monomer is it's too much for me these days. Plus it fills the whole house. I have animals. Other people can't stand it. So I got this odorless monomer. Now I've tried several others, but this is the bottle I currently have. And I'll be using that to do this acrylic nail tonight. I also somehow, when I did me a set, it came out perfect. This was a couple years ago. I somehow made myself allergic to the odorless monomer because as soon as I got the set on, it was all filed and decorated and top coated. It wasn't 15-20 minutes later I started itching around my cuticles, and it got so bad that they were turning red. I was scratching so bad. That same night I took them off, and about 20 minutes after I had them off, the itching ceased. So my only logical explanation is I got so much on my skin I made myself allergic to it. And at the time, being a DIYer and not doing the research I should have, I didn't know that you couldn't get a lot of the liquid on your skin. Because when you go to a nail shop, they're getting it all over you all the time. So I didn't think nothing of it. But now I know. But I will show you why I don't care for it. The odorless monomer. It dries so slow. And you'll see that. Okay. So this is RuPaul. He's into getting his nails done. So we're going to start by buffing this little fake little nail they give you for this hand. He's been through a lot over the years, as you can see. He just doesn't like to show everybody his blemishes. So we're going to go ahead and buff out this nail. Ooh, that's an ugly sound. I just have it on like a 6. I'm just wanting to kind of roughen up the surface just slightly, get the shine off of it. I am not a nail tech. I do not claim to be. I'm sure I will do some of these things wrong, but that's what a DIYer does. Learn from your mistakes and move on. This is what works for me, and that's all that matters to me. And now I'm going to take an alcohol swab because I put this on with my bare hands, so naturally there's some oils on there too, I'm sure. Clear that off just because, I don't know, I work with gels and it kind of just comes, you know, secondhand. I just have to. Got me some brush on nail glue. Now the thing about these plastic fingers is it takes an extra long time for the glue to actually dry. So I'm going to be holding this for quite a little while. This nail is a little bit bigger than the nail I'm putting on, but that's okay. We can trim her on down when we're ready. I'm going to move on. If it pops off, we'll just do it another way. I'm going to put some primer right here. I'm also going to put it on the nail tip. But with acrylic, you don't even have to file the nail tips, from my understanding. Now, want to try and do like an ombre moment, but I also want to use some cat eye thread gel on the tip. I notice it's crooked. Don't worry, I know. So I'm going to paint this on the tip here. Make sure I get the sides because I always miss a side. I want to do the thread gel part of it as well. And then I want to magnetize it. There we go. Then I want to cure that in place. Now, I have this Beetles hot pink gel. I mean, not gel. Acrylic powder. Yes, I know it's not the best brand in the world, but I was learning. And then I have Model 1's clear. Again, learning. And this is 100% Kolinsky. This is size 10. So I'm gonna put it in my odorless monomer and push out all the air that I can. Got my little dapping dish over here. And I'm gonna scrape it one time. Oh, I'm sorry, 2 times. There's a lot of oil in odorless monomer. Okay, let's wait for it to get glossy. Because it's the same as regular monomer in that respect. You're waiting for it to get glossy before you put the bead down, and see how it's it's finally about to turn glossy. Still gonna take a minute. Don't worry, it's not drying on the brush. It takes way too long to dry. We're gonna set that down. See, it's still not ready to be set down. Now, you would think, hey, let me go back in for more monomer. Don't. You see how wet that is? Just go ahead and pat it into place, because as it sets, it's going to get more and more and more liquidy. And it takes forever. When I say forever, I mean forever to dry. So long. You want to wipe your brush off twice as much as you would with regular monomer. There's a little shimmer in this, which is great. You be careful with how you hold your nail, because this will run. You see how shiny it still is? It's always going to stay shiny because there's going to be a dispersion layer. It's not like regular monomer by any means. Now, I have worked with regular monomer, and it really doesn't act like it. It changes everything that you know about regular monomer. Trust me. I probably should have shook that powder up. But we're here now. This is happening. You don't want to manipulate it too much because as you see, it's really, really loose. Really loose. I'm gonna need some more over there. I'm trying to also make sure that I'm getting my apex as I'm going. Not so much because the clear coat will do that, but enough. Now I'm gonna wipe it twice on the same side and pick up a small bead. Because I'm just trying to fill in this side over here. See how loose that is? Oh, I wish monomer didn't smell so strong. I really did. I could be crushing acrylic nails. You just kind of have to let it sit there and wait a minute before you really want to go in and like pat it and mold it. It needs a lot more time than regular monomer. And while odorless monomer works best with its odorless acrylic powder, you can still use it with other acrylics. It's just each acrylic's gonna act slightly different, but you're still gonna have a long curing time. Like I won't be able to put clear over that for good 10-15 minutes, honestly. See, this is drying now. It's still shiny, but it looks more like it would be tacky on top. But you can see this is still quite shiny. And obviously, I'll be filing the sides quite a bit. I'm not going to make you sit here and see how long this takes. And yes, temperature does have to do with it as well. It is quite, well, it's 74 in my house. That's what I keep it at. This room might be 75 or 76 because the amount of bodies in the room. Because I have all the animals in here. But this smell, if they could combine this smell with regular monomer, oh, it'd be a dream. It really would. So when they have you do your final exam in cosmetology school for nails and they make you get that odorless monomer and odorless powder, I don't know how it's supposed to be the same as if you were using regular. It doesn't make sense to me because it does not act like regular monomer at all. Now I'm going to go in and add a little bit more here just to kind of ombre it out, which I just shouldn't need but a little there, you know, because I'm trying to fade it down. Kind of feather this down now. That's what I mainly wanted that one for. That little bead. And I might need another little bead. Want the fade to not be so I don't know, straight across like. Fade to be semi-seamless. You can see the brush is staying clean for the most part. There's not beads in my brush. So that lets you know you're putting it down around the right time. Okay, now I'm gonna let that dry. And in the meantime, I'll go ahead and pause it. I want to encapsulate a few of these little gold Mickey Mouse heads. So I'm gonna put those over on my paper towel so I don't have to dirty this whole thing up. All right, it's been about 5 minutes. Let's see if it's ready. Okay, we're ready. I also took out some of those teeny tiny gold little hearts to encapsulate as well. So now I'm going to get the air out of my brush again if there is any, because it's been sitting here drying for a little while. And I'm going to pick up a bead of clear. Wait for it to turn a little. And it's starting to get glossy. And I'm going to start here. See how liquidy that got like immediately? That's okay because I want to have me a thin layer to put my Mickey and hearts on. That's what that bead was about. Ooh, don't want that right there. Clean out my brush. Now I will say the Model 1's clear sticks to the brush a lot more. Don't know why, but it does. And since this takes so long to dry, it gives you an ample amount of time to add things to it. I'm gonna get all 7 of my Mickeys on here. Let's get this one down a little more. I don't want them in a line. And then I'm going to take my little hearts and put those in between. The Mickeys are hollow, the hearts are not. So it gives a little bit of a contrast. I have hollow hearts, but I didn't want hollow hearts. And see, these hearts are so small, they'll be okay for the tip of the stiletto and the sides, where you have to make it thinner. Now, those should dry off in there with that clear coat, and I should be able to encapsulate that. It's just something about a hot pink and gold that I really, really like. So again, I'm not going to make you wait while this dries. Now this heart at the tip, I guess I wiped too much off. It's not stuck to anything, but these, if there's a double, you know, because sometimes they stick to each other, it'll just slide off the top and I can get rid of that. But like these, they're in there. So again, since my brush has been drying, get the air bubbles out again. Now this is going to be where I build my apex and completely encapsulate the nail. And I'm going to start right here where I would need my apex, because it just seems very logical to me. And see how it's running? That's because I got too much liquid to powder ratio, which is very easy to do with odorless monomer. Most people just take it and point the nail down and let it run. Which, I mean, I guess it makes sense, but not for me, not when I'm trying to do something specific. And again, this is a different brand, so it acts differently. Oops. Odorless monomer is a pain in the butt. Now, if you know of any odorless monomer that dries a little quicker than this, I would be so ecstatic about said product. But since I've never met any, and I've bought quite a few in my day, and I mean truly odorless monomer, not the it has a slight smell of regular monomer. No, I want it to be odorless. There's a hair in this. All right. And as you see, this Models 1 clear, not the best match for this odorless monomer brand, the Koopa, but it's doable. And the fact of that is so clear is the reason I bought it. It was reasonable and it was clear, and I was using it for practice. I also bought an acrylic powder from, I don't know if it's AliExpress or Temu, but not such a good match for this. And I do the, just set your brush down and lightly drag it method. That's what works for me. And the powder, when I just set my brush down, I find that I pick up so much extra powder, even though I tap my brush off, that the bead is just unbelievably dry. And I end up wasting product. I also like to try to make my nails so I have the least amount of filing possible, which is another flaw of mine, because sometimes that's not the best method. And I don't like to have to file off so much bulk. If you get carried away, then you lose the shape of what you're doing. It doesn't look great. And then you just messed up everything that you just did. I find there's a lot of feathering when you're trying to build the apex, feathering up and down. But eventually you get there. And there's not enough right here either. Not enough encapsulation at the bottom. I'll be drilling into those sequins in no time. Constantly got to wipe your brush off. Constantly. Because you don't want the stuff to get stuck in your brush and cure in there. Even though it's cure slow, it will still cure in this brush. But I do find it a lot easier to build to your apex with what I have with the colored acrylic powders from Beetles. And like I said, I got the Models 1 clear because it was so clear for the affordable price. I just felt like if I'm gonna practice, I might as well practice with the clear. I'm trying to pat that down into a fake cuticle there. I'm going to go over this with one more coat, and I'm going to call it, because this is bordering into the getting carried away stage, because I'm trying to make it so smooth. Let that sit for a second. Take the excess down. Swipe it on down, because it's going to run off the sides otherwise. And then swipe it up. See, from this, I'm looking at it from this side, and it's looking like it's got what I want. Looking at it from this side, there's a divot there. So clearly, I'm going to have to go in one more time with just a little bit. And fill that in. And try and pat that in there right. But I see that I have my little apex. It's not a big apex, but it is an apex. This is more of the flat nail style anyway, so I suppose that's good enough. Now I'm gonna let this dry and come back. Now while that dries, I found this tool on Temu a year or so ago. And what it's for is cleaning out your brushes. So like if there's any left behind acrylic, and I like to do this right after I'm done, just in case. You brush it, you know, you're combing it out. And if there is something, you got this little pick tool on the other end that you can pick through there and get to it. you know, grab it and drag it out. But I find doing this works fine from, see, there's a little piece right there. Brushed it right on out. Don't even have to worry about it anymore. And this is stainless steel, so you can just soak this in acetone. I find brush cleaner works better to get any acrylic that you got on this off. And I just wipe the excess off on the same paper towel I was cleaning my brush off on, in between beads, and we're all good again. So I like to flatten my brush back out before I put the lid back on it. And yes, I do store it with some monomer on it. So it's all gone. It's all done. I'm gonna clean up my mess. This is still drying. And I'll be back. All right, I'm pretty sure we're dry. Yep. I'm going to get some alcohol on a lint-free wipe, and I'm going to thoroughly clean this now, because it has a dispersion layer when you use odorless monomer. And you don't want that stuck in your drill bit, or on your file, or just anywhere, period. So make sure you thoroughly get that off of there. It takes a little bit of scrubbing. It's not like the dispersion layer on polish. It's pretty thick, and I don't care how much I clean it, it still never feels like it's completely gone. So first thing I want to do, personally, is I like to perfect the shape. So I will go ahead and I use an 80-80 because it's faster. And I want to come underneath first. Oops. Underneath first. I should probably still be wearing a glove because of this dispersion layer. And then I come up the side. Yeah, see, that's still sticking to me. Let me get that off of me and put a glove on, so I don't feel like itching. Now, it's been a few years, but why tempt it? Just why? Get us another glove on. Like I said, now the side. You don't want to file in too much on the side at one time because you will make it severely uneven. So again, I'm going to come under, get that, because sometimes what you're trying to get is not on the side, it's under. And then I will come and do the side. I know it's hard for you to see on this side what I'm doing. That's the way I have to hold it. Now, see how this sticks out? I'm going to try and take that in a little bit. Some people like the filing process. I'm not them. I do not care for the filing aspect of nails. And see, as much as I did that, you see how it's still sticking to it? It's still got the dispersion layer on there. It feels like it never goes away until you file. But there are several reasons I don't like the odorless monomer. Number one is how long it takes to dry. Number two is this dispersion layer. Oh, I hate it. I'm trying to make this a good and sharp stiletto. Now I'm going to come under it like this. I'm going to do most of my filing with the hand file. I will probably buff it out with the e-file, but I have more control with the hand file when I'm working on this fake hand or another person. So I'm going to file it right. To the best of my ability, this hand file is going to be my best friend right now. Now the shape is basically there, even on top where I laid the acrylic. Let me turn it sideways. You can see that I do have an apex. She is quite built up there. It says nicely encapsulated both sides. So I don't have a problem laying acrylic. I just have a problem with the speed of the monomer and the smell of regular monomer. And even the lighter scented ones, something Nicole, not Nicole Diary, there's something Nicole, I think. My friend does acrylic nails too. She does her own and her niece's, but she says it doesn't have that much of a smell. While I was sitting there when she was doing it, it still has a smell. It might not be as strong as others, but it's still there. It's still definitely there. Now, while I'm filing this, after I got this part, I'm gonna hold it because these nails on this hand snap out that way. So I'm trying to keep it on there because I do have to put some force down. And being that I try my best and I have to file that much, I'm just kind of trying to round out the nail a little bit here where I did the harsh side filing. So otherwise it'll be flat and then rounded. It doesn't look right. Doesn't have a natural curve to it at that point. But I know everybody was thinking, why aren't you doing acrylic? Well, I explained, but I also showed you that I can. Just not a big fan of the products that I have to use. I'm not in a well ventilated room to do anything with some regular monomer. Nor do I want to, honestly. So I stick to my hard gel. I can do polygel too. If you'd like to see that, just put it in the comments. I'll do a polygel. That's no problem either. I can work with the mediums. I just have my preference like everybody else. Now I'm gonna wipe this again with some alcohol to get all this excess stuff off. See what I got going on here. See, I still bulged out a little bit, but that's on there. It still feels gummy. It shouldn't feel like that still. I didn't file roughly over that, so it still had a dispersion. Ugh. And I was told after it dries, it shouldn't be gummy like that on top after the acrylic has dried and then you've wiped it. But I'm sorry. Every brand I've used has done that. The only brand I haven't used is Nail Career Education, because every time I go to order it, she's out. So I'm gonna look at it from this angle. Looks good. There's a little slight slope right there. So I'm gonna fix that. There we go. Wipe this off again. And you know what? I'm not going to use my e-file at all because I don't believe I need to. What I am going to do is use a buffer. Because there's tons of scratches in this nail. And this is a 180 buffer. And when I get through with this, I guess I will use my e-file. I don't have a buffer scored right now. It's a 240. I like to get it as smooth as possible so the polish looks good when you lay it down. This is a little bit of a long video, but I'm trying to be thorough in my explanation of why and what. And I'm also going to take this buffer and go underneath as well. Because let's be honest, it gets under here sometimes. See, there's a piece right there. You can see the outline of the nail tip. You don't want any acrylic in here. So I want to make sure there isn't any in there. I don't know if you were able to see that. Yes, you were. Good. Back this hand up some. Now we'll go to my e-file. And this is simply to smooth it out because this is a 240 sanding band. That's all I use on my natural nails is the 240. So that's mainly the sanding bands that I have. Go in at a 7, 6, 7. That was unintentional, but you get me. I am simply buffing, so I'm not pushing at all. It's just laying on the surface and I'm pulling. That still looks kind of flat right there. You don't want that. Now at this point I'm pushing a little. So I don't want this to be flat and then come into rounded. I think I will get me a 240 buffer. Just a second. This one will do just fine. It's very soft on this side. Yeah, that'll do great. It says 180, 100, so I guess that block buffer I have is probably more like a 100. It's definitely not a 240. It's pretty rough. Oh, you look like that right there. And underneath again. All right. duster off, dust my table off. And right here, normally with regular acrylic, you could just go ahead, because I want to do some chrome isolation, you could just go ahead and do whatever you're going to paint. To do chrome isolation, it wouldn't stick. But I don't trust this. There's too many sticky parts. So I am going to go in with a matte top coat. Preferably Beetles. It works best for chrome isolation. It's the best one I have for chrome isolation. And I'm going to paint the entire nail. Get a little sneak preview of the reveal here. Get all the way up here. I'm going to give this a full 60-second cure, and then I'll be back. I'm going to go in with some Crazy Top. This is what I'm going to use for my chrome adherent, with a drop or two of black jelly in it. This is my black, yeah. It's the Beetles jelly. It's D822. It comes in a little 6-piece set for like $8.99. Not bad at all. And I'm gonna put a little out here on my palette with my spatula. Just a little. Don't need much. I'm just doing a little plaid design. I figure with the thickness of this Crazy Top, it'll stay where I need it to while I draw all the lines that I need to do. While I paint all the lines, not draw them. So I'm just gonna, like I said, take that, take a couple drops of this black jelly, maybe one. I don't even know if I need two. That's a pretty big drop. That should be enough. And then I'm just going to mix it together with my spatula. And I'm going to throw over, push down, throw over, push down. Because I'm trying not to put a lot of bubbles in it. Not that I think it will affect it that much, being I'm just getting a little bit on my brush at a time. But why risk it? You just want it. You don't want to see any marbling in it. I think that's good to go. Now I'm going to wipe off my spatula with some alcohol. And we're done with said spatula. And I'm going to take my long liner. I don't know how many millimeters this is. Oh, it's 10 or 12. It's the longest one that I have, that I've made really thin. And I'm going to run my brush through it. When I run it, I'm going to wiggle and twist at the same time so I don't get too much. You know, I fill up my brush. That's the main thing. And then once you've filled it up, you just drag it through there and stripe it out on your palette. Now, first thing I'm going to do is make me a line going down this way, which I just lay the brush down and drag it. That's the straightest way to get me a line, if I'm being honest. I might have picked the wrong brush because it's awful thin. That's okay. That just means I come right beside it and do another line. And that is plenty thick enough. And I'm gonna come right beside it over here and do a second line coming down. Like I said, you just lay it down, lay the brush down, and drag it. That is the best straight line you're gonna get, or at least for me. Some people can do this with a short brush. I find it easier with a longer brush. Then I'm gonna take it and come this way. I keep my brushes pretty clean so that they're flexible, but that doesn't always save you. So you gotta pay attention to how your brush is flexing. See, like I said, I want this thick going this way, just the same as the other way. I'm doing 2 lines worth that way. Now this next line, I want it to be a little thicker than all the lines. I kind of doubly loaded up the brush, which didn't help, so I'm just gonna have to do the line beside it like I did before until I get it as thick as I want it. And then I'm gonna put one down this way, all the way over here. Then I'm gonna come down here and do one across the bottom. You straighten out there. All right. And that looks good to me. I'm going to cure this for 60 seconds and then I'll add my chrome. Okay. Now, because we have the hollow Mickey Mouses in there, I got my hollow gold chrome out. And I just have my little picker tool with the sponge on it. I'm going to get it out of the lid here. And we're going to rub it all over where that plaid is. Oh, missed a spot. Now I'm going to rub it in so you get the full hollow effect. Can't believe I missed a spot. You see it right there. Oh. It's okay. I'm going to fill that in real quick. Hope it doesn't look too bad. Cure that for, oh, I missed some down here too. Let me hit that too. some right here on the side. I missed a lot here. Can't believe that. And it missed over here too. Get this up here. Okay, I think that's good enough. Now I'm gonna cure that. Here this side and then the other side for like 20 seconds. That's good enough to cure it to where it will take the powder. And then over here. And this does 30 and 60 seconds, so when this cuts off, then I'll be able to add the powder to all of it. There we go. Now let's go back in, finish adding the powder. There we go, that looks better. Come over here and add it over here. Now I'm going to take this other sponge and wipe off all the excess powder. Because when I put my clear coat on, I don't want powder all over the nail. This also further rubs it in for you. We're going to use our Born Pretty Super Top. And cure this for 60 seconds and come back and take us a good look at it. Now, there is our beautiful, lovely nail. You turn it from side to side, you can see the cat eye that changes from light pink to purple to iridescent. You can see the design from the pearl, you know, the pearl thread, shell thread, because it's the cat eye. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's thermal as well. I'm not positive. You can see that it faded decently. Not great, but decently. And you can see that the hearts aren't holographic, but the Mickeys are, and so is the plaid pattern. Thank you for coming along for this little journey. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Have a wonderful day, month, night, week, year. And please come again. Bye, my little bodies.